Look, go to your Chrome settings right now and find something called Privacy Sandbox. You probably think you're finally opting out of tracking, right? Wrong. Google just turned your entire browser into a tracking ID that you quite literally cannot escape. I'm peeling back that clean, minimalist white interface to show you what's actually underneath. You see, it's a sophisticated piece of telemetry equipment. The era of the simple web browser is dead, mate. We aren't just browsing the web anymore. We're living inside a bloody massive data harvesting machine. It follows you across every tab, every single click, and every private moment. Think of it like this. For years, third-party cookies were the villains of the internet. They were just clumsy spies, following you from site to site, leaving digital footprints that were honestly quite easy to block. But Google's new move? It's far more brilliant and far more dangerous. They've essentially fired the outside spies and moved the surveillance directly into your taskbar. Whilst the rest of the world celebrates the death of the cookie, cybersecurity experts are sounding the alarm on something much darker. It's a clever bit of psychological warfare, isn't it? By branding it a sandbox, they make you feel safe, like a child playing in a protected environment. In reality, it's a digital cage where Google owns the lock, the key, and the cameras. Look, if Google is telling you they're finally protecting your privacy, why are the people who actually understand the code screaming for you to uninstall it? I'm going to show you why Chrome has become the ultimate Trojan horse, and why your personal data isn't yours the second you click that colourful icon. We're diving into the code, the lies, and this silent transition from a tool of exploration to a tool of total surveillance. This is a privacy disaster, and it's quite literally hiding in plain sight. To really understand the scale of this deception, you have to remember 2008. The internet was a completely different world back then. We were all just struggling with the bloated, crashing corpse of Internet Explorer. It was slow, it was ugly, and honestly, it felt like it was held together with duct tape. But then, Google dropped Chrome. It was a revelation, right? It was minimalist, it was fast, and it felt like
all of it is fed into a bloody massive algorithmic profile. This digital twin of yours is so detailed that it quite literally knows your habits, your anxieties, and your secrets better than your own mother. And the most daunting part? We gave them the keys to the kingdom, just for the sake of a slightly faster page load. But the convenience, that was just the bait. The real trap was much more calculated, and it involves a secret handshake between your browser and Google servers that happens every single time you log in. But look, there was one detail everyone missed during that golden era of expansion. A detail that turns your browser from a helper into a spy. That little detail, it's called the Privacy Sandbox. Now, on the surface, it sounds like a brilliant upgrade for your digital safety. A safe space where your data is shielded from the prying eyes of the internet. But in the world of cybersecurity, a sandbox is also a cage. Google has framed this move as a crusade for a more private web, claiming they are finally killing off those third-party cookies that have tracked you across the corners of the internet for decades. It sounds like a victory for the average user, doesn't it? But if you look closer, really look, you realize this isn't about privacy at all. It is about control. By disabling those cookies, Google is effectively starving every other advertising company on the planet. They are cutting off the oxygen to their competitors whilst making sure their own lungs are full. You see, Google doesn't need third-party cookies to know who you are or what you want to buy. They own the search engine, the email provider, the operating system, and the browser itself. They own ending the era of tracking. They are just making sure.
It is a masterclass in cynical realism. While you think you are getting a faster, more secure experience, you are actually being funneled into a system where your digital autonomy is eroded by design. Google has effectively neutralized the opposition, leaving you with a choice that isn't really a choice at all. But as brilliant as this power grab is, it is only one part of the machine. Because once they have you inside the sandbox, they start looking at what you do when you think the lights are off. And that is where the real mystery begins. Look, this mystery is essentially a heist, where you are the vault and Google, well, they have the master key. I get it, right? The convenience is seductive. You open your phone while sitting on a train, and there it is. Your history, your passwords, even your open tabs. It is seamless. But we have to ask ourselves, at what point does a feature stop being a tool and start becoming a leash? Because right now, Chrome is the ultimate surveillance tool, just disguised as a productivity app. Every click you make, that is just a data point in a bloody massive digital ledger. I am telling you now, the convenience of a synced tab is not worth a lifetime of digital surveillance. It is quite literally a liability to your digital sovereignty.